FEW Automotive Group is a so-called hidden champion, in the world of automotive glazing connectors. We have 5 production sites all over the world, 2 in Europe, 2 in China, 1 in Mexico. And with our around about 600 employees, we provide our products to global brands like VW, but also Ford, Porsche, Ferrari, high volume to small volume supercars, whatever it is. If you sit in your car and look at the back window, you see some heating grids, and those heating grids are probably connected with one of our products to the wire harness of the car.
Great, Konstantin, thanks. I think the big challenge which FEW has in terms of like product scope is that you guys are managing a lot of different variants, right? We can see there's more than 1,000 articles. So every year, a lot of new articles coming in place, new projects. So this is, Konstantin will also elaborate in a second.
Exactly.
So, about Lighthouse, I will not tell you anything because that's not the place to talk about Lighthouse now. And I said some words, but maybe Konstantin, you can also like bring the audience back into when we met the first time and what was the situation this time, and share a bit the situation this time before we started to work together.
Mm-hmm. So in 2023, I think it was, or end of 2022, coming right out of COVID, we had a big increase in new parts and new projects. And project management for us is introduction of new products to our series production. And as Nico said, we have a lot of different products, and everything is custom, tailor-made, high volume, small volume. So this is the challenge for us. And then after COVID, we had a big increase in new products, which is great, actually. But it shook down our old system, basically. Too much emails, self-developed spreadsheets that no one could find anymore, and so on and so on. And the big product failed, and we needed to find a new solution to rebuild the system. And we reached out to Nico. We sat together with the team, so it all started with the work with people, not with software, not with anything else. So really came together with the team and had a couple of workshops, talked about what we need to do to get our projects back on track, to get our customers happy. And this is where we started. And we came up with a gate system for our project management system, which we then took into Smartsheet. So that was one of the first steps we did.
We will show it also in a second. So if we now follow in the presentation, important part for us was also what Konstantin said, we involving the people. We use here the Kaizen methodology, but this is not part of the of the discussion today. So here as a first step, we want just shortly talk about the gate review system, what we implemented, which Konstantin just mentioned. So to give you all a small understanding about the automotive industry. So we are really under high pressure in the automotive industry, because if we fail to deliver to the customer, that's always the time when I said before, like when small parts are start flying around in helicopters, if you stop the line of a customer. So the pressure is pretty high in terms of delivery, quality, and cost. And so it's very important that all the processes are very aligned throughout the product development and the project development at the end, because we want to set up a system where we have different gates, where everyone know what is to do, where in order to reduce the noises, and that we can really focus on the right things. Because in case something is going wrong, the situation is always very intense, and we really need to make sure that we did all the right things upfront. So we developed this gate review system together, and Konstantin and the team, they implemented, and we will show it later to you. So now we...
Yeah, actually, for the gate system, okay, project management is about phases. You divide the big problem into smaller topics. Definition, initiation, planning, steering, and so on. But we tailored it right away to our projects. In the end, we have a system which is like a pyramid, I would describe it. We have on the lowest level, we have our project views. Yeah, so every project has a project plan and so on. I will show it to you immediately. And then we have the project managers on top of those, which are responsible for a couple of projects each. And on the very top, we have the portfolio view, which leads information to me and then to the C-level to steer projects based on strategy, decisions. Everything's in real time in Smartsheet. You can see that. And I'm quite happy with it at the moment. That's why I'm here to share.
Thanks, Konstantin.
I brought the project management system here into the workspace, which I used with Nico together. So that doesn't matter. Basically, just create your own workspace with your team so that everybody's involved, who you need to be involved. And as I said, you can see all the structures in the very beginning. We have the project view, we have project manager view, portfolio view, and we have a couple of other applications that reoccur in every of our projects. So prototypes, toolings, fixtures, drawing creations, and so on. And I made a special folder for our Shangzhou team, for our Chinese team, which includes basically the same applications which they have in their production site. When you start, I would recommend to sit down and think about a clear structure. Organization is key here to easily orchestrate everything and to make people easy access to everything. Where I want to start today is on the portfolio view. So let's jump here. And there, of course, we have a big dashboard. What else?
So these are not real data. So we faked it a bit. So that's just in terms of NDA and confidentiality. So this is not real data.
Exactly. Okay, so now it is fully loaded. And what I learned mostly from Engage in the end, and working with other people, talking to other experienced people working with Smartsheet, is that you have to look for best practices and look out for this user interface. Think about how to set it up, and it starts by colors. For example, the blue color is based from our corporate identity colors. Yeah, so you can make the dashboards customized. If you are planning to build like 10 dashboards, 12 dashboards, I would recommend set up a customized standard in the very beginning. Then you don't need to re-upload the colors again and again for a dashboard. So coming a little closer to our solution, what can we see? Okay, we have a couple of reports which are shown as diagrams. Of course, we have the projects overall by health status. So we have up, unchanged, and down, which is basically red, yellow, and green. But to make it not too bright and have a nice appeal, we decided to keep it in the blue tones and give the red like a more purple look. Yeah. So what can we see? We have 7 products at the moment which are red. And we will also find those projects right here in the portfolio report overview. This is a nice report which is based on a sheet summary, which I will show you in the project plans. Gives the quickest access to have the best overview into each project itself. Seeing, okay, we have the link to the project plan itself. We have a link to the project dashboard, which I will also show you. And then the most important information, completion, which gates are we in, and so on.
Konstantin, can you make it bigger? Can you just put the cross on the left side? There was a request from someone.
Of course.
Yeah, nice. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes Smartsheet needs a little time, but there it is. Okay. This one Also, very interesting thing. It shows us basically what status do we have in the projects overall. Yeah. So if we are closer to the end, which would be on the right, yeah, we see, okay, I need some more resources maybe in the quality team at the moment. Yeah, we could have some topics there with a lot of design freeze topics here, gate 3, gate 4, PPAP notation, and so on. Wherever gate 0 is like a sales topics, yeah. So just gives a quick and easy indication. Of course, then projects by planned, and so on. What we also can see here is that we have schedules, timeline widgets, and to see what are the next projects that are coming up, and some other links. What I would like to highlight is really try to make links to other applications. Try to make it work as an application, to make it user-friendly and to make it easy to navigate and find what you want to find. And if you have many dashboards, bring the links always to the same places, yeah, so that everybody knows where to jump right away with your mouse. Okay, next layer would be project management layer. So we just click link to the next dashboard of the next project manager. And this works for all the dashboards. All the dashboards are linked again to each other. And on the project manager dashboard, we have a similar look, but of course, we only look at the projects which are done by this project manager. And we go one step down and have a look at the tasks of those projects. And then we see, okay, we have how many open tasks do we have, or delayed tasks. And again, overview and details. We have, again, timelines, but this time timelines, I can't see it because the reports are filtered with the current user. So the project manager who looks at the dashboard would see his next project SOP. Simple filter function helped me to make it only 2 reports instead of 12. Maybe I can quickly show you this one, this filter function.
Yeah, that's cool. Because as we discussed in the demo, not everyone knows that we can adjust the reports also in the dashboards to the individual user, right?
Exactly. So, okay, if I make a current user, it is blank for me. But if Anya, for example, would be logged in, she would see hers, and so on and so on. You know, and then I think that's a quest one. Okay, from the project manager view, I would like to go down one step more to the project view. And for the project view, we created templates for each production site. So we have a template for production in Changzhou in China, for Germany, and for our Mexican plant. And those templates are built up with a project plan, of course. We decided to add a rate log for risks, assumptions, issues, and dependencies. We decided we should have like a profile template to define the projects more in detail. This one is also used nicely by other departments, like the R&D department, for example, if they are designing a new process. Of course, we have a project dashboard, project delivery dashboard, so-called, for us, calculation and admin folders. I mainly place reports and metric sheets, which help with the the dashboard building. Okay, and of course we jump right into one of the projects. Again, data is manipulated a little bit, but here we are. Okay. What we did is, of course, we have our stage gate system. And within all of these stages, we have our defined deliverables. Totally normal. We have a gun view. I think it's also normal, quite clear. Activity status assigned to department and so on, start date, end date. I don't have to explain about that. What we find useful and what we decided to is we have 3 KPIs for the projects. We have the overall health status, which is based on the timing, on the timeline of the deliverables. We have a KPI based on the budget, which we have for toolings, fixtures, and so on that we need to purchase for the project. And we have a KPI for the recalculation. Yeah. And all of them are done automatically by some formulas. Yeah. So I don't have to decide, the manager doesn't have to decide or shouldn't decide if it's red, green, or yellow. Yeah. It's automatically set based on the rules we defined at the very beginning. And then it is combined with an automation in the back, which can then be an escalation process. If we say, okay, it was escalated, but it is not that severe, we can manually set it back to yellow or whatever. So this is something quite nice. Of course, again, I said, you can also make a lot of links here, hyperlinks. You can easily go to your project profile, dashboard, and recalculation. So really make it as occasion.
Konstantin, maybe one question from my side, and I really forgot if you still have it, but in the beginning we made also the templates tailorable, like based on the complexity of the project, where we said in the beginning, like it's a basic application or it's a build to print or as a new development. Is this still present in the templates currently, or?
Kind of. It is not within the templates anymore. We still have a look at the complexity.
Yeah.
But standardization won against customization at that point, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, that's all fine.
Yeah.
I think everyone need to take this as a decision, but of course we have the possibility, right? So this is the point that we can say, like, if we have just a simple part in brackets to produce, or if it's a whole development, of course we need through the gate review system, we need different deliverables maybe, and so there we can tailor, of course.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to show here, what I already explained on the portfolio dashboard, is the sheet summary, which is over here. And the sheet summary allows us to, as it is called, summarize the most important information. We can add easily new fields, and we can fill in those fields just by referring to cells in the sheet. And then with one report, sheet summary report, this is not a row report, we can get all of this information and make this nice portfolio report of the dashboard. Yeah. So, for example, here I have the link in the dashboard, and this is also coming here from this one. So this is quite nice. And if you make it in a template and save it as a new project, we'll always have the most the updated information in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, Konstantin. Because also of time, because we have 35 now, I just wanted to, maybe if there's no question regarding this sheet in the moment or the structure, Maybe you would like to jump over to the gate review process and document signing process, because we had here a question from someone also how to drive the team into Smartsheet, which was also a topic when you remember in the very beginning I showed the overview when I talked to the UX team at Smartsheet. So it's for everyone is difficult to bring new people on board. That's not a Smartsheet related topic. It's in general, if you implement something new, people are resistant to change. And so we need to find good ways to help them. And Konstantin, maybe you show this process, automated process which the team developed.
Yeah, perfect. I will go to that one immediately. Before that, it would be a shame if I don't share the project delivery dashboard with you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm a bit all over the place now. Yeah. So
no problem. But this is also a key feature for bringing people on board and bringing people behind you with change.
Yeah.
Try to make it look as nice as possible. Make it shiny and easy to use.
Make it sexy. Also, it's
exactly. Yeah. Don't overthrow it. That's what I meant with have a look at some best practices. That's what I did. And then you will find your way. Everything that is in the project plan can be summarized here. The KPIs I told you about with some more detailed information. And if you show this to your team lead or C-level level who wants to have detailed information, as far as I know, they love something like that, things like that as well. Okay, but we.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just one quick question, Konstantin. That then Tom sent a comment whether you could like share the project profile dashboard and then elaborate a bit on how it is used in the context of FEW. I think like you mentioned like already some of them like here in the past 2 minutes. But if you have time and then you can elaborate on that a bit, that would be nice. Like how the dashboards are used in that specific scenario, FEW.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. For example, every second week we have like a steering committee to have a look at the Red Health projects. So the project management team, I and the other team leads, for example, from quality, sit together and have a look at the portfolio dashboard and have a look, okay, which project is red and why. And then we only have a focused deep dive into those red projects and we jump right into this dashboard. And if we have red KPIs here, we need to design a latest status and make a path to get back to green. So right into this dashboard, for example. And we see which tasks our problems come. Of course, it depends on the people bringing in the information, working with the system. But if you standardize and if you get your processes tailored, easy, not too complicated, we experience that this works quite good. Okay, I think that Nico. How to get there quickly? Let's see.
You should have booked more than 1 hour, I see.
Yeah, I could talk about this for hours.
Yeah, we can talk for this for hours. Yeah. And we are happy to talk about this for hours. So if you need some more information, of course, also you can send us a mail afterwards, or we can make some deep dive with you. So not an issue.
Yeah.
But this is important one. That's what we also wanted to show, or Konstantin want to show.
Yes. If you want to get people on board, ask them what they are annoyed most of. Yeah. So what is the process that is important for you, the team, the project, but does not run? Yeah. And then fix it. And with Smartsheet, I think you can almost every process in a quite easy and collaborative way. It's not only Smartsheet, you also need to sit together, have a meeting or whatever. For example, the creation of PPAP documents was a big pain point. couple of people are involved, and it was just email ping pong, sending emails here, there, whatever. I'm done. You are next, and so on and so on. And of course, you can do this with Smartsheet. And in this application, we have 24 automations at the moment, which eliminates all mail communication. Yeah.
And normally we say less automation is more, but in this case, it's the more the better. So.
Yeah. But of course, you don't start with 24. You start with 3, 4, 5 automations and see, okay, in the next meeting, you have another idea together. Okay, I can integrate it. And then it takes on. Yeah. It starts to roll and you come to the best solution. And this one works quite nice. And this is where I got the quality team on board, for example. Yeah. And then they started to create their own applications because they saw what is possible and was achievable. Other applications I could share, for example.
We are also with the time, Konstantin.
Then I'm happy to get back to you, Nico.
Yeah. Because so we implemented Smartsheet on very different levels, let's say. So Konstantin on the one hand side for the program management with the team, of course. But since the projects were evolving and also the team recognized the value of Smartsheet, we could enroll to other areas also. And so one day actually we start to develop also a planned dashboard, and this is just one example. So I have a bit of background in lean management in the automotive industry. So we love this SQDCP dashboard, and that's what we implemented also into FEW. So we took the Excel lists, which were there before, into like really solid dashboards to highlight the KPIs and so that we can follow the trend week by week. And of course, also especially to have here inside then the action tracker.
Nico, are you sharing this one already, or is it still on my?
I think I'm sharing.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Or Anna, what you can see? Can you see my dashboard?
I can see yours as well now. Perfect.
Okay. So and of course, including like the functionalities of Smartsheet to have the Kanban board here inside that we can follow and track all the issues. So that's a great function of Smartsheet that we can not just highlight KPIs, but also we can work directly on the KPIs. And there's no other system where I know this can be done. Interestingly, we developed this dashboard and this methodology behind in just 2 weeks, and we rolled it out in 2 weeks across the entire FEW organization. And it is very simple setup, but simple doesn't mean it's easy to be set up. So we put a lot of our combined know-how inside. But why it was so easy to roll out? Because the people who are actually using it, they had just 3 buttons. So they could, on the one hand side, either collect here and see what are their personal tasks. On the other hand side, they could say new input for this week, what they have to select or which KPIs. And then they have also the current week status. So the people didn't need to use more than these 3 buttons. And this made it very strong for everyone. Plus, and this is also a philosophical topic, it's not important to draw a KPI. It's not important if you're red or green. Also, in relation, it is important that if you are deviating from your target, that you start appropriate actions, that you make an appropriate problem-solving process. That means doing a 5 why analysis, doing a Ishikawa. So walk through the entire A3 process, because that's the way how you can improve at the end. Just visualizing is not changing anything. So therefore, I'm happy that Smartsheet gives us these possibilities to really focus on the topics and then work on the issues. And especially now with the AI functionality, we can even analyze root causes and see what are potential root causes. So it's really great. Okay, but I don't want to get deeper in this topic now because of time. Just if there is a question for the moment. Nothing? Okay, so same as FEW, so this system is very easy to be implemented to any organization. If you have one plant, 10, 50, it doesn't matter, we can scale it to everyone. Okay, so coming then back to the stop sharing. I need to see where I need to share now. Coming back to the presentation part, because we want to also get some more talking points about. So we just reviewed together the portfolio management topic. As a next step, Konstantin was talking about the smart integration and the automations. And I think important also is here that the team really enjoyed this solution. And also we talked about the plant performance cockpit, which we enrolled, and we have it not just for one plant. There's other structure on top where the C-level suite can also look into all the KPIs. And then other areas also where we utilized Smartsheet in FEW for shift book, for sample part management, and so on and so on. But I think important, Konstantin, is maybe a bit for the roadmap and like what is your resume after the time. So what is your takeaway also for the people who are in the audience? Maybe you can give us some summary.
Yeah, so now the system for us really works nicely. We are still filing on the processes. Of course, this is a never-ending story. Constant improvement. But I'm very much looking forward to what is coming with Smartsheet. And on the Engage, we had a couple of insights which made me very interested. For example, everything that is related to the AI, built right into Smartsheet, which will be very exciting, I think. And you prepared a couple of things for that. You are right at the edge. And this is the thing I'm looking forward. Second thing I would say where I'm looking forward is to put now my portfolio management with some other apps like KNIME or N8N or whatever to our other systems, to our ERP system, to other ideas that I have, really making the next step, jumping out of Smartsheet a little bit more, and then to use everything that is now possible, with AI and improve our processes even more.
Great. Also, I launched the poll with the question like, how many people, what do you think, how many features are released this year in Smartsheet? And actually, it's a bit more than what most of the suggestions are. Actually, is around 20 is what I counted. So we have like Smart Assist, Smart Agents, Smart Flows. Smart Assist is just released in early adopter, I think the day before yesterday. So in the moment we are testing it. And for smart dashboards, which are already released, we just made a video yesterday, a deep dive video, which is also part of our academy. So, but a lot of different features are released in the next weeks and months. Some of them are on the roadmap here to be seen. It's not just AI, but it's of course a lot of AI because in the moment AI is a big flagship which is helping a lot of organizations to drive productivity. And if you have the feeling that you're a bit lacking behind, of course, you're invited to, with you and your teams, to utilize our Lighthouse Academy. So exactly for this topic, we launched the Academy, because we saw that a lot of features are coming out and not everyone know how to utilize it. So we are doing constantly workshops where we are presenting the new AI features. You can, as workshops, webinars, you can find them on our website. And furthermore, we have developed this course, which you can, of course, attend if you want. And it's amazing. I just yesterday I tested this new AI dashboard builder, and you write a prompt like you write not just one prompt, you write 7 prompts. I want to have this this analyzes, this, or you write 7 prompts, and it just creates you one dashboard, and you have 7 charts on it. It's just like this. So it's really great. If you want to know how to use it, you can check on YouTube or follow our masterclass. Okay, so in general, also here, just a hint. So Konstantin mentioned it already. So we are not just using Smartsheet. We also, as a IT company, we are focusing on automations, software platforms all over the place. Everything must be security enterprise ready. So here we selected N8N and KNIME. KNIME is more for data analytics, and Konstantin just yesterday, and this is it's really happened. So yesterday he sent me a case where we will now look how we can integrate KNIME into 2 use cases. One is like reading drawings and then see how changes of how the drawings change over customer requirements from drawing to drawing, so that quotation
feasibility check.
Feasibility
Exactly.
check, exactly. Yeah. And the second use case here is what we want to look into is how to make the product calculation and sales calculation easier and faster. So it has nothing to do with Smartsheet in the moment, but of course it's related to the projects. And with N8N, we have several projects running to connect Smartsheet, bringing data into Smartsheet, organizing Outlook email boxes. Marcel did a lot of videos on it already. You can also find on our website. So I'm happy if you would like to know more about this also. Webinars are upcoming, this I said already several times. So now I would like the last 7 minutes before people are leaving also give you the chance to ask some more questions. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand maybe, or we have something in the Q&A, what we still need to follow up.
There's a few questions already. So first of all, like it's aimed at Konstantin, like in your experience, how long did it take to have like all relevant parties, departments, just convinced of to use Smartsheet, its effectiveness, and like how usable it is or set up? And connected to that, I think it's good to answer them at the same time, would be like, how long does it take to set up these Smartsheet templates for the different disciplines within the company? And time-wise as well, like investment.
Yeah. So if you have the business license in Smartsheet, you can build all of that on your own. But it took me a while, and even I had already Nico's help. Yeah. So if you go on your own, I would, I don't know, times I give the example of any sports you want to play. Yeah. You can buy a racket and a tennis ball and you can play some tennis. But in the beginning, you get a coach and a trainer, and then you can really start off. This really helps, to be honest, for the beginning, to get going, to get to know the features and to have the basic structure. I don't know, whatever, like 3-4 months, 2 months, depends on the person who sits in front of it, depends on how big your teams are, depends on how many days per week you can work on it.
Yeah, and Konstantin, I think a big part is like what you say is like at the end, like you are developing a user interface, right? So it's we shouldn't be too techy and not to fall too much in love with all the automations and having 30 KPIs on one dashboard, because when we start like this in the beginning, we will overwhelm the team and then they will not use it. So stuff like this is really important at the beginning to have a really good implementation and change plan, I think.
If you have your first framework set up, like the first project template with the folder structure and the first project manager dashboard and the portfolio dashboard, from there on you can go on with copy paste.
Yeah. And important is, I think this is a part of what I showed also in the very beginning, like why people don't use it. What was the feedback on the buttons from the team? A lot of people, also the response from a lot of Smartsheet users is actually that the people who are using the software or supposed to use it, they don't know the capabilities. They don't know the superpower of Smartsheet. And this brings me back to the point, like if the teams, the people don't know all the functionalities, and they don't need to know all on the first day, right? But they should know it, and we should give them some small bits that they can see how Smartsheet can automatically change their daily work. And this is, again, a point with also training. We offer our community, we offer like solution building. So if you need some expert help on this side, we are there. Okay, Justin, to be also mindful with the time.
One final question that just came in is that whether you have any idea where to find like good use cases and materials for using Smartsheet as an integrated marketing tool or a campaign tool.
There are possibilities to, as they are on YouTube, there are videos. I think always that the most videos which you find on YouTube are too general. And that's the same with some of the training stuff which is out there. It's too general. I think personally it helps always to have someone on your side who understand together with you what is your exact problem you want to solve and define a way together with you how to get there. We do these sessions if you need, if you want. The first hour there is always for free. And if you said, for example, integrated marketing, this week I had a call with a client in the US. They have like 4 different systems which they want to integrate into Smartsheet. So that is the question, how you integrate these different workflows. And then we are coming back to like we have KNIME, we have N8N, we have Data Shuttle, we have Bridge from Smartsheet. There's so many possibilities, but the important part is like, what is the right way for your use case? This is what we can discuss together. Okay, so are there some other questions in the Q&A which we have to answer? Also, we have still 27 people online. So if you want, also if someone wants.
Maybe one more thing regarding project management.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have this stage gate system, but of course you can also build beautiful solutions for agile project management where you have sprints and retro and so on and so on. Yeah, so it works the same way, and you have your process and see what is best or what is needed to make your project successfully, and then you just build a solution around it.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your participation. 60 minutes are not enough. The normal sessions are like 90 minutes. So next time, maybe we will reconsider. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. So I will close.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.